Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we are going to do another project in SQL. I'll be using my SQL workbench. Last time also we did a project, it was for beginner. In this one we'll move ahead and we'll also do some advanced queries. So this time I'm going to use this credit card database. So it has only one table. So let me just show this to you. So this is the database. We have multiple columns here and we'll be using this database. All right, so to use our database, I'll leave the whole file in the GitHub so you can download it and follow along. So to use a database in the MySQL, we say something like use, and then we say the name of the database, that is credit cards. So now we can use this. Also, I can just right click and select this set as a default schema. Now if I say show tables, so we have only one table, cards here. And I can also say show columns in cards because we are inside the credit card database. We already have access to this cards table. And if I run this, we see all the data. These are the columns. So we have city, date, card type, exp type is the expenditure type, and gender and amount. So now let's have a look at the data first. Select everything from the data table, that is cards. So this is the data. We have city, date, card type, exp type, gender and amount. And if I run this again, you see the city is in text, card type text. So amount is in big int, and then date is in the date format. Rest everything is text. So to run this query, you can just put the cursor here and then press Ctrl Enter, or you can just click this icon. So this would run the query. Now in the SQL, we have few keywords we use to fetch the data. So SQL is like a query language. So if you go to a library, you have a book, and then there's a person who knows all the books. You can say think SQL as that person. He knows about the book. He can just go and find that book and get back to you. So we have few keywords here. One is called select. Select is used to get the data, whatever data we want. Or we can also use the aggregate function here. Like we can count, we can sum it up, we can find the minimum and maximum. Then we have from. From gives about source of the data, from where data is coming. Then we have another keyword where, that is condition. So do we want all the data or some data based on the condition? We also have something called group by, that is used to group the data, like categorize the data. So like here we have the gender, so we can categorize on the basis of female and males. We also have having here, that is again a kind of conditions on the group data. Then we have order by, that is to order the data. And we also have limit, to limit the data. Now these are the main keywords. As we move along, we'll be using these keywords again and again. And most of the SQL is all about this. And as you know, process learning more things in the SQL, you learn few more things beyond these. So now if I have to select data, I say select, and then we give asterisk and say from table name, that is cards. This asterisk sign here, that is for everything. So if I run this, I get everything. Okay, this is the whole data here. Now if I want to select only particular field or something, I can give the name of the column, city and date. Then again we say from table name, that is cards. So we have the data here, Delhi and date. Okay, to select everything we use asterisk, and if we have a column we give a column name. All right, then if I select gender here from cards. So one more thing here, I'm writing the select and from in the lowercase, but most of the time in the real world, when you work on these kind of things on the database, then we write these keywords in mostly in the uppercase. But right now, I'm writing these in the lowercase. Also, most of the time I write queries like this: select everything from table name. And then suppose if I need only one column or two column, I give a name here. So if I say gender. So now if you look at this, when I run this query, I get female and there would be males also. Okay, so the data is like female and male. So we have female and male both. Now, but this is the data is repeating, right? So what I can do is I can use a keyword here that is called distinct. That would only give me the unique values. So we only have male and female in the gender column. All right. Now, if I select everything again from cards, and if I use a condition where I say city is null. So I'm running a query where I'm selecting everything and giving this condition where city is null. So if the city is blank, there's no value in the city or null is there, then we want to find that data, but there is no data that is null. So we have complete data set. Okay. I can also do multiple things here. Let's suppose I want to count everything. So I can say count everything like this. So now we have the count 26052. Now if you look at this query here in the column name, it is giving us this count like this. But if I want to have my own name, I can give it alias as the name of the column total count. And now if I run this, I have total count instead of the count asterisk. So that's how we give the alias name to the column. All right, so now let's do some data exploration. Select from cards. Now, so we have, multiple, we have seen the gender. So let's select the distinct card type. So we have these 4 kind of card here. And in the same way, we can also select the expenditure type, EXP type, and that is bills, food, entertainment, grocery, fuel, and travel. So we have these 6 here. Now, let's look at the date column. So we have the date here. And suppose if I want to put this in the order, I can say order by. Every time I end a query, I have to use this semicolon. So if I use the semicolon here, This query after this is useless. So I have to remove it and then put it here. Order by, we say date. So when I say order by, that is, putting it in the alphabetical order. So this is the date. It is, I believe, 2013, 10th of April. And now if I say in the descending order, so we have the date here. The last date is 26th of May 2015. Okay. So if I say something like max here, so I get this date. This is the last date in the database. Again, I want to give a name. So I say recent entry. This is the date. And in the same way, I can say minimum as first entry. So we have the first entry that is on the 10th of 4th of October, and then this is the 26th of May. So I think we have almost 2 years of data, and that's why we have almost 26,000 rows. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start doing some real thing. From cards, so what I want to do is, let's look at the city. So we have these multiple cities here, and what we can do is, let's do one thing. We can count it again. If I run this, I get the total details, but I want to count here for the city. So I give a column name here, city. Now see, if I run this, I get only one city, but there are multiple cities, right? We have seen that there are multiple cities. Delhi, Mumbai, Greater Mumbai, Ahmedabad, everything is here. Here when I'm selecting it, it is giving me only one city, the first one. Now, why is that? We are using an aggregate function, right? And this is the aggregate function, and then we are giving it a column name here. So what we want is, we want to count the count for each city, right? So we have to use the group by, because we are grouping the data. So we say group by city here, because this is the column we want to group it by. Now if I run this, we get data from the group by. One way to look at it as also is that whenever we use the aggregate function in the select column, everything that is not in the aggregation, rest of the column should come in the group by. Okay, I can give a name, total here. So we have this Delhi, India, and if I have to do something like order by, so we can do order by city, or we can do order by count, this total here. So we get the total, and this is by default in the ascending order. So let's change it to descending order. So we got the Bengaluru has 3552, Greater Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Delhi. Okay. Also, if we do not want to give a column name, we can say 2, because this is the second column, this one. So we get the same result. So this is the data by the cities. So in the same way, we can do this grouping for the other columns also. Again, in the column, select everything from cards, and this time let's do it for the gender. And again, we are going to say count everything as total, and then group by, same logic, because we want the data to be grouped by gender. We can see that in the gender we have female and male, we have 2 values, so that's why we are grouping it gender. Or another way to look into it, because we are using aggregate function, everything that is not in the aggregate function in the select statement should come in the group by. Okay. And now if I run this, I get female and male. This is the data for females and the male. Okay. Now suppose I also want to look at the amount. So I can say sum amount, and we can say as amount. Now if I run this, so we have female and male data. So this is the total amount for the female and this is the total amount for the male. What we can do here is select from cards. Here I can say sum amount. So this is the total data, total amount 4074. And when I'm doing it on the basis of the gender, we have this. Okay, so we get the count also, and we also get the total amount here. Let's look at the other columns. So we might have columns like card type. So what we can do is, again, this is how I write the query, but you can have your own way. From cards. Now I have all the data. Here I can give gender, and I can also give card type, and then I want to count. For the count, this time I'm not giving asterisk, I'll give 1 and see what happens. Let's call this count, and because we are now grouping it on the basis of 2, gender and card type, so we want both the columns group by these two. Run this. So we have the data female, 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 gold, platinum, silver, signature, and same with the male. Now I do not want this way. I want data to be, in a different order. So I say order by, and I want data to be ordered by card type. Now descending order. So we have silver, silver, signature, signature, platinum, platinum, gold, gold, and on the basis of we have ordered the list. So we have the total count here. So if you look at this, I mean, if we start finding some insights here, female has silver. In the silver card type, female, the more users are female, and same with the signature card, same with the platinum, and same with the gold. But in case of silver, the number is far higher. The difference is almost 700 and plus, while other cards signature is like 300, and then platinum is also like 100, and then gold is again 200. So the difference is high. So we can see also that here, if we have to comment, say, we can say that females users are higher than male users. So let's do one more thing. We also have the bill type, right? Select everything from cards, and this time I want the gender and the expenditure type, and I want to have the sum of the amount. And if I look at the sum, and again we have to group it, so group by gender and these two columns. So we can again copy this and put it here. So we get female, bills, food in this. I do not want the order in by the female or gender. We want the order by on the basis of exp type in the descending order. So now when we look at the traveling, I can give a name here. Usage. So female here have a higher number. Again, in the grocery, again, female is a little higher. Fuel, male are higher. Maybe because most of the people who are driving are males. Food, so the female number in the food, you can look at it. It's far higher than the male using the cards for the food. Entertainment, as male is, have a higher usage. And if you look at this bills, so this is anonymous, I believe, everything. So that's why the number is very high for the female users. Okay, so sorry. So that's how we find the, whatever inside we couldn't find. So here in the food, the difference is far greater than any other. Great. Now we have seen these. So again, let's run the query. From cards. So we have seen these Delhi, and we have seen on the basis of city, card type, expenditure type, amount, and everything. Let's move ahead, see what we can do. So here, if I have to dig a little deeper, we can do few things here. Let's see the usage of the card type and the amount. So here I'm going to say card type, and then let's sum up the amount. Card type. So this is the amount for each card type: gold, platinum, silver, and signature. Now what we can do is we want to find out the cities, where the cards are being used. So which cities are doing, using the cards a lot. So here I'll copy this one. Select card type, so I'll say city, and I have to give the city name, sorry, here. So we have all the city. Now I'm going to put the order by column number 2 in the descending order. So we have these, and I can also say something like limit maybe. So we have first 10 cities: Mumbai, Bengaluru, Ahmedabad, Lucknow is there, Surat, even the Kanpur is there. Okay, so this is how we find the top 5 cities, although there are different ways to do it. I'm just doing it in a simple way. So what we can do is let's move ahead and we'll see if we can do some other things. Okay, so let's look into the date, and here in the date, if I say year, date, so I get the year, and if I say month, I get the month. If I say day, this will give me the day, and then if I say day name, I get the day name. And we also have something like weekday or week. So okay, we have this data. Now first thing is we'll just work on the month. So if I say select these two, and then we are going to say sum amount from cards. We have to group by data because these two are not in the aggregation. Here I'm going to call this amount. Pivot the group by, and if I run this, so for 2024 we have the month. So let's say this as year. I can also format this query a little bit like this, and then this we say as month, and then sum as amount. So we got year and the month and the amount. Now I can order by. So I want order by the year. So if I say order by year, and if I run this, first I get 2013, then 14, and then 15. And this is the amount for the, so in 2013 we only have 3 months, 14 we have the full data, and then 15 we have the 5 months. So this is the data we are grouping year and then month basis. And we can check and we can do a multiple analysis on this, if data is increasing or amount is increasing or decreasing. Now so we saw this day name also. Okay, so if I say select, so if you look at the queries, all the queries are these are the keywords we use all the time. So here I'm going to say date and this. So we have date and the day name as day, and then I'm going to say sum of the amount as amount. We got the cards. Now I'm going to remove this date for a minute now, and in the group by I'm going to use the first column. So we have the data based on the Wednesday and then Friday and Saturday. Now what I'm going to say is I'm going to give a condition here where day name date in, and I'm going to say in bracket Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and now if I run this, so we get data on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right. So this is the total amount which is being spent on the weekends. Same way, we can also do it for the other days also. And this could be done in a different ways. I'm just doing it right this way. There could be multiple ways to do any query. All right, so this is great. We have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm not sure if there's again select everything from cards, and we had the date, and we also have weekday. For the date. So this is going to give us the, I think, the weekday. And we can, you can explore and what is all these function date and month and year, and then we can get the data on the basis of these. But this is fine. So these are the data in the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And also, I mean, like, we can give another query which we say not in these days, so we get the data for these days. So we are removing these, ignoring these three, then Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, and Thursday. So we have the data. We can also create CTE and then compare it, but you may do it later on. Okay, so now we have done the date also. Next, what we can do is we can find the city wise we have done. So let's create some, bigger queries. So we say select from cards. Here I'm going to select city, and then let's sum the amount, all this amount. Then we can group by as usual, because the group by has to have on the basis of city. City has the multiple values, that's why city. And we can put a condition here where card type is silver or gold. So we are giving a card here, a condition here. And now if I run this, we have this data. Then what we can do is I'll do the same thing, and we'll create a complete analysis here, and I'll remove this. Okay, so this is giving me red error here because I have not put the semicolon here. So every time we end a query, we have to put a semicolon. Okay, so we get the data for this without any condition here. Now what we can do is let's call this CTE1 as, and then I can go ahead and close it here. I have to remove this also. Then we'll give a comma and CTE2 as. So this is the query. Okay, we have two queries. Now we can have another query, select city, or we can do, I'm just thinking about some analysis if we can do it. So in this one, we have the city and the amount, or maybe I'll remove the type from here for now. So we have this data. In the CTE2, what we can do is we got the total amount only. We do not need the city, and I'll remove this. So we have two tables now. Okay, CTE1 and the CTE2. CTE1 has this data on the city wise, and then CTE2 is the complete data. So now we can do something like this from CTE1, and let's call this C1, join CTE2, and let's call this C2. Okay, and here we are going to say select city from C1, select the city. Then now we want the amount. So from the C1, we are going to get the amount. what is the name of the column? Amount. Here we'll say the total amount. Here we'll say the city amount. So I'll get the city amount. And then on the city amount, we are going to do some calculation. So what we do is C1 dot city amount by C2 dot total amount. Just to keep the format, let's put underscore. Okay, C1 by C2. So now if I run the whole query, let's see if it gives something. There is some error. CT1. Okay, so we have this data here, city amount, and I'll call this as. So what we want is we want to find the percentage. This is giving us the percentage, so I can just multiply it here as total. There's some error. Now if I run this, so we have this is the total here of Delhi is this, and this is the total percentage of the total amount. Okay, so 13% of the total amount is coming from Delhi, 14 from the Bangalore. So now here order by, and we can give the column 3 in the descending order. Okay, so now we have the data, or we can just select this, although this will run. So if you look at this, Mumbai is the 14% of the total amount with this amount. And we can also give something like this, C2 dot total amount. So this is the total amount. And city wise, this is the amount for the Delhi. This has to be 4 now. So the Mumbai is 14%, Bangalore is 14.04, Ahmedabad is 13.94, Delhi is 13.667. Okay, and if I want, I can just put a limit here, 10. So we only get 10. Now this is the total amount we are getting from here. This one, this is the total amount, and this is the city-wise amount here. Okay, city-wise percentage contribution. Okay, so this is one query. We got it. So we have like Surat, Kanpur, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Lucknow. So these cities are actually top. So we do not really want these 10. Instead, first 4 is enough for our data. 14, 14, 13, and 13. Okay, so we got this analysis. Now let's see if we can do some more analysis. Okay, so we'll do some simple query, 1 or 2 more queries. So we have, city and the card type. So although we have actually done enough of the queries, Now you can just go ahead and explore the data and use the, put multiple conditions. And so uh, let's do the build type for a moment. Although we have already done the build type, but if I say city and the expenditure type, and then we have the sum of the amount, then we are going to have order by, sorry, group by, first column. So we have the, daily bills, these much of amount in the for the bills and food. And then we can put the order by also. Order by the third column by the amount, or maybe we want it to by the second column. So we have all the bills for the cities. So this was all. These are the few queries I have, thought of building. So maybe you can just explore and do further analysis. All right. So this was all for this video. Thank you for watching. Good luck.